but it was really weird because the guy like then asked me like, he's like, well, how long is an airplane ride from Norfolk, Virginia? And I'm like, well, we have this guy that has, originally called us a month ago, and he was like, I talked to him on the phone. It was like he called my phone directly, and he was like, hey, I'm looking at buying a vacation home in Wichita, Kansas. So first I'm like, vacation home? Is it really like an ideal vacation place for, I've like never been like, I'm gonna go to Wichita, Kansas for a vacation. I mean, there's definitely things to do here, but that are cool, but it's like, in the middle of February, I'm not, this isn't my ideal location. Obviously, we've had snow and everything, recently, so why would you want to come here? But it was really weird because the guy like then asked me like, he's like, well, how long is an airplane ride from Norfolk, Virginia? And I'm like, what? Like, I don't know. I've never myself considered Norfolk a destination from Wichita, Kansas that I would like to go visit, nor do I even really know where it's at. I've heard about it before, but that's about it. Never researched it more than that. So it was really, really, really odd. And so then this guy's like, well, I got all this cash money, I'm gonna buy this vacation home, and like when I'm not using it to vacation from Virginia, like I'm gonna go ahead and Airbnb it. So it's like, well, that's very interesting, and I'm not really sure why someone would do that. But regardless, like, so I went ahead and was like, okay, well, I'm gonna get you with my showing partner. She'll do some virtual tours with you. And so then I hand her to then I hand him to one of my showing partners, and I'm like, and then there's like this long, like, he then talks to her for over an hour, and then he's like messaging her in the middle of the night, like at 11, and just like with different weird off-ball questions. It's just like, this guy is really an odd guy, and you just don't really know what's going on. So then, she kind of works with him for about 2 weeks, and then we keep pushing for proof of funds, and we just can't get anything. So we're like, okay, well, if you can't get us proof of funds, we really can't work with you anymore. And so he's like, he gets really upset with us, but it's just like, we're not going to waste our time. And that's one of the things we kind of constantly like have to gauge is like, is it really worth our time to be going around with a guy that can't even really give us any proof of information? So then I go a week later down the road, and one of my other real estate friends was talking to me about this really weird guy that called her and was like trying to get her to show him houses and all this stuff. And she's like, man, it just seemed like really odd because he was asking me like, what's the plane flight from Norfolk, Virginia to Wichita? And I'm like, wait a second, like, what is this guy's name? And so she gave me the name. I was like, well, that's not the same guy, but I was like, what's his phone number? And it was a different phone number. So I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's a little different. But I was like, but Chance, what is his email? It's this. And so we get the email, and it's the exact same email from the guy that I was working with, that we were working with our team. And I'm like, whoa, I was like, I would not waste my time with this guy, and explain the whole situation to her. And so she's like, whoa, geez, thanks. I only showed up one house, but I'm really glad. It was really weird to me. So then, let's just go, like, it's like a week later, and we get this guy coming in, this guy calls into our ISA department, and they set an appointment with actually me as being the agent, just because there was no one else to really work the person. So I went ahead and like tried to show him, or did a virtual tour with him, but the house key wasn't in the lockbox, so I wasn't able to show it, so I wasn't able to really talk to him. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to reach out to the listing agent, and I'm going to figure out where the key is, and once I figure out where the key is, we'll get you set up for another showing, And he was like really frustrated with that. I'm like, okay, well, there's not much I can do, and I don't know why you're frustrated. You're literally not here. And I didn't really research it more, because the guy's name was like, it wasn't even anything that was alarming to me. It was more of a Hispanic name than the original guy that, we were talking to was more of an Asian name. So just very, very, nothing went up. But then the next day, I went and talked to the ISA department about this person, about how we just need them reset with an appointment. And the ISA agent was like, well, yeah, this guy just talked to me for 30 minutes and was talking about Norfolk, Virginia, and I'm like, wait, what? like this can't be the same guy. This literally can't, because this name is not lining up. But so we reverse searched it, and it's a different phone number or it's the same phone number as one of the other guy. And I'm like, what in the world is going on with this guy? And I just called him and I was like, dude, never call us again. This is you are it was I don't know what you're doing. I don't know if you're just bored and you want, but you're wasting our time. We're working really hard to try to make something happen for you, but obviously you're not being real. If you're coming in with different names, different numbers, different email addresses, you're just gaming some system. And he's like, and then Cecilia was like, yeah, he said he was looking at homes in Detroit and St. Louis. And so I'm like, I wonder how many times he's doing this to other people. Very, very odd. And it's one of those things, you just got to be really concerned about who you're actually working with. And sometimes when it comes to virtual clients, you really need to get some more information, because they have no skin in the game. They're not having to go show. You're not gonna, they're not having to drive to these showings. They don't just show up. You literally, you take a recording or you do a FaceTime or whatever it is, and you show them, and then they're available to look at the homes. But they're not actually driving. They're not wasting much of their time. They can all do it from the comfort of their home. So just a little heads up on really trying to push for those proof of funds, really push a little bit harder for those pre-approval letters on your virtual clients.